this podcast, I highlight individuals that grew up in Gary or cities like Gary and are now doing amazing things. And like I told y'all, I got a special one for you today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got a special one for you today. I'm going to let him do the intro. I'm going to let him introduce himself. But my guy, I'm going to tell y'all how I got in touch with this guy. I was on Instagram, and I was looking through the Gary connect, like Gary pages and stuff like that, you know, when they tag and stuff like that. And I'm scrolling, and I see my brother. I'm like, my brother's from Gary? Yo, let's tap in, hit you up. Sure enough, the energy was good. I said, hey, I'd love to interview you. Was like, hey, I'm down, seeing what you were doing. I'm like, honestly, man, this is somebody that I want to interview because, one, I'm personally interested in what you're doing. I know others will be too. And then at that, man, it's good to highlight individuals that basically transition. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, my man Don, how you doing today, brother?
Yo, what up, though? Yo, Josh, thank you for having me, man. Like, this is really dope. This platform is cool, you know. So, like you said, like when you hit me up and I looked through the page, I saw what it was all about. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely tapped in, you know, kind of thing. So, appreciate you having me, one. And I'm good, man. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, short intro. Like, I'm from Gary. You know, I was actually born there. Raised on the west side. You know, I moved to Detroit when I was young. You know, I was about 3 or 4 years old. My mom and I moved to Detroit, and I've been out here ever since. But I go back home a lot to visit. I still have family out there, aunts, uncles, cousins, you know. So growing up in Detroit, we would still go visit Gary, holidays, summer, kind of thing like that, go visit our fam out there. So been back and forth a lot, you know what I'm saying, between Detroit, Gary, Chicago area, you know, kind of thing. So yeah, like Gary is always gonna be home, man. Always gonna be home.
Always. That's always home, bro. I don't care where you go in life. It's just something about that place. It's just here. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, but it's true, man. It will always be here, man. But with that being said, my brother, I would love to jump into your story, man. Just to give the people, like you say, you're from Gary. And I'm interested in what you're doing now and how you've changed or transitioned your life. So tell me, what's your story, brother?
Yeah. So, you know, moving to Detroit, I grew up, you know, mainly here. Now I'm a director of marketing for Footlocker. So, you know, really out of school, I was pretty much always into sneaker culture, always in the footwear, fashion, streetwear, you know, kind of thing. It was things that I was really passionate about, you know, kind of thing. Not just on some just because you look fly, you know, kind of thing, but also because it was like, I was really interested in like the stories and the designs behind a lot of the products, right? You know, kind of thing. So that's what got me into it. And really like out of high school, you know, I started going to college, but I didn't finish college actually.
Okay.
You know, kind of thing. But while I was in school, I actually went to school for engineering, right? I was in school for mechanical engineering. And I did well, you know, jeans lit shorty, you know, I was doing well, you know, I was good.
Sure.
But I really wasn't being fulfilled, you know. So like on nights and weekends, I was on my entrepreneur grind,
okay,
right? You know, kind of thing. So I started to host sneaker events, you know, in the city. You know, I went to sneaker conventions in other places, but there hadn't been one in Detroit at the time that I thought, you know, filled that void, you know.
Right.
So some of the first things that I did that kind of got me like noticed were I actually would host like a sneaker art show, kind of hip hop performance at a local sneaker boutique here in Detroit, called Bob's Classic Kicks.
Okay.
You know, from there, went well. Open mic, hip hop, poetry, you know what I'm saying? But there was also sneaker themed artwork that would be available there, all by local artists, all from the city, kind of thing. It was just a vibe, you know, people came out, they enjoyed it, you know, kind of thing. From there, I started to create merch, you know. So one of my first brands was called Stay Laced. That's why it's like still Stay Laced down on Instagram.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But, you know, my vibe was selling shirts that matched sneaker releases. So it was like, you didn't have to just dress off the mannequin or wear the same shirt that they were selling in the mall in the window kind of thing. You could have that same like look, but have something unique, you know, kind of thing. So I would go to different events just in the city. I would travel sometimes just to sell my product, you know, kind of thing. So I would go to conventions in, you know, Chicago, New York, you know, kind of thing, Ohio, just kind of like getting out of the city and getting more eyes onto the brand that I was starting, you know. And doing a lot of that, I just met a lot of people, networked a lot, kind of thing, and was able to really grow my platform,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So where,
Sure.
we just ended up, getting noticed by different brands, different people.
Yeah.
And I was able to transition that into a career, kind of thing to what I do now, with Footlocker.
Wow. So you sold apparel, right?
Yeah,
So you started your own apparel brand.
exactly. Yep.
Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. And this is the reason
Thank you,
why
man.
man, that's dope, man. And I love the inspiration behind it. You know what I'm saying? You was like, yo, you want to wear sneakers, you should have a dope shirt to wear with. Crazy enough, bro. I knew this. See, I didn't know how this conversation was gonna be dynamic, but I knew it was, and this is how I know, bro. So I actually, as some of my viewers probably know this too, but I actually as well started a brand and a clothing brand as well. And so,
Dope.
we sell, I still currently run the company and we sell all types of dope clothing. But I want to get into, you know, that idea or concept of being an entrepreneur. Why did you want to be an
Yeah,
entrepreneur?
for sure. Well, one, man, congrats on starting your brand too, man. You know what I'm saying? That's really dope. I hope nothing but success for you moving forward with that.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna
Uh,
have to show you something too. I'm gonna have to show you
got
something.
to, man. Let me see.
I'm pretty
Let
sure you
me see
got.
what's
Yeah,
up.
yeah. I got you. I got you.
Yeah. But on your question, it wasn't something I felt like I really chose, right? It was something I thought I needed to do to kind of fulfill what I wasn't getting elsewhere out of just having a job. Grateful to have a career, to have a good, position kind of thing. But being an entrepreneur allows me to be creative in the ways that I might not necessarily be with my job, right? Kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I've worked in different places. I've been working since I was a teenager, kind of thing. So I've had a lot of jobs, but I've always came back to that one thing that I really wanted to do, which was creating, whether that was apparel, whether that was creating content for like social media, kind of thing. Those are the things that inspired me, right? So
Right.
the decision to be an entrepreneur it really didn't feel like hey, I want to start a business to access my income or do something else like that, which is smooth, right? It was more like I needed this creative outlet to do the things I wanted to do, right? So
Right.
I could pitch stuff to a boss or whoever I work for. By the end of the day, it's their brand, right? So if they don't want to do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, does that idea just die or can you do it yourself?
True.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So that's what really led me, It's like I had ideas of things I wanted to do and I've, been blessed to have the mentality of like, if I can think it, I can do it kind of
Yes.
thing. So I just would do, right? So it's like, yo, if I want to start making clothes, my first pieces, bro, were trash, right? Like trash.
No, for
But
real.
I learned a lot, you know what I'm saying, during that time. I learned a whole lot. I learned about screen printing. I learned about line sheets, you know what I'm saying? I learned about all the process so that I could get better, kind of thing. I learned how to use Photoshop and Illustrator and all these different platforms. And, it allowed me to like express myself creatively even more now that I know how, kind of thing. So that's really what it was for me, bro. It was like, yo, just, how can I do, the things that are up here and get them out for other people to see and enjoy?
For sure. Um, Let me ask you this. This is kind of like it's on the topic, but off the topic. Which one you prefer, screen printing, direct to garment, or embroider?
So it depends on the design, but I like embroidered pieces just because I like to feel like the texture of like the stitching like on something, and it just kind of like it makes the piece elevated to me, right? Because it's
Absolutely.
just like, yo, like is this logo embroidered or is something stitched on the sleeve or something like that? Like it elevates the piece to me in a different way. They all got their benefits, right? Kind of thing, but I do like screen printing because I just like the actual process of how it's done is like a real art form to me,
Yeah, it
kind of
is.
thing. So watching that actually be done and the layers of color coming out like crispy is dope to me, kind of thing. Like I think, DTG is cool, right? But for me, it would if those three I had to put them in order, it would
Yeah.
be embroidery, screen print, and then direct to graphic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have to agree with you 100%. That's where I'm at with it, and specifically on the embroider, it's because like it advances the quality of the
Yep.
product. You know what I'm saying? When you're putting that
Yep.
on, like I have a couple of embroidered shirts, and just for some odd reason, even before I put it on, like I rub my hand across the embroidered piece because it's just like you know what I'm saying, the threading, how it all came together, bro. That's why like when I started the brand, I fell in love with clothing then. Like that was the moment where
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is a really, and I started with my business partner. He already loved clothing. Like he was a fanatic for that. You know what I'm saying? So when I got
Yeah.
into it, I was like, man, this is it's an art. It really is an art, and figuring out like what you like. When running a business though, what are like, especially like the t-shirt business or like running an
Yeah.
apparel business, I'll say that. What are the biggest challenges you've seen in running an apparel
Yeah.
business?
So I think the biggest challenges are one, getting yourself out there. You know, like a lot of us, when I say us, I mean like people of color, where we like to wear name brands, we like to wear brands that we're familiar with. So, and obviously you got people who are like, oh, bro, that's black owned, or I know you, I want to support, right? But that can
Sure.
only get you so far, right?
Right.
You want to have customers who genuinely like your product, not just because they know you or they're your friend or something like that. You want them to buy it because it's dope, right? That's how you can really establish it and make it bigger. You know,
Absolutely.
so I think one of those challenges is what I see with, from my own experience or what I see with other people is early on being open to change, right? Some people be like, nope, this is dope, and I'm just go keep running with it,
Yeah.
even if it's not working. And it's like, yo, like, it's okay to switch up. You can switch, you can change your name, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 29 now, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I first started doing apparel, I was like a teenager, right? My taste level was different. My design eye is different, you know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So it's okay for you to switch up and make something new, make something fresh, and just take what you learned and grow, kind of thing. So I think that's one, but I would also say just with all smaller brands, it's like finding a way to elevate the experience your customer is getting
Yeah.
within what you can do with your budget and price point, right? So it's like if you sell something, is it just a screenshot of your items on your phone, or is it an actual website I can go to? Right? When I order from your website and I'm getting it sent to me, how is the packaging working? Is it coming in a way that's like, yo, this is dope, I'm gonna keep ordering from them, because it didn't just come wrinkled up and tossed out the back of their truck or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, this arrived in good packaging. It was crispy. It was dope. It was on time. It was professional. These are the things they don't have to worry about when they shop with bigger brands. You know what I'm saying? You can provide that same experience.
Absolutely.
So I think, but yeah, I think those are some of like the biggest challenges that smaller brands face, because we don't have, when you're an entrepreneur starting off, bro, it's like, it's you got to be everything, right? You your marketing department, you your accountant, you know what I'm saying? You your IT guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to figure it all out, you know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
sir.
So I think like, understanding the bandwidth of what you can actually do, and not just knowing like your strengths. We talk about that a lot, but like, what aren't you good at? How can you outsource that so that it still comes off as premium? So it's like, you're not good at budgeting. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's when you just have to bring on a partner or someone who can help you, who does have those traits that you're lacking in, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I think some of those major challenges are, man. So it's like figuring that out as an entrepreneur. It's ongoing. You always learning. You a student, you know what I'm saying, of whatever like industry you in.
Absolutely. That was the biggest thing for me, learning to learn when it came down to the
Yeah.
business thing. Because when you first jump in, you think you know everything. You jump in and you go, oh, I could do this. This
Right.
and people say it all the time. Oh, that's easy. And I'm like, okay, go do it. Right? Like, I don't even argue with people. Go do it, because like running a business, just a business in general, it's so time consuming and learning. And I think one thing that really, what you said that really stuck out to me personally, was the customer's experience, and really managing and really focusing on how to make that customer experience the best thing ever, from the packaging, from the first time they see it, right? If it's on their
Exactly. Yeah.
phone, on the website, or wherever they see it, or if it's on another person, from that
The
time
content, the photography, all of that.
to
Yeah.
the time that they put it onto their body, you really have to think about the customer's experience in order to really, and that's what, I mean, a lot of those bigger brands are doing. Like, for example, like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, like I feel like they've like mastered it, right? Like even the Jordan brand, like they mastered it. Certain releases, with certain like shoes that you get, you know what I'm saying? You're going to take it out of a box. There's going to be like some type of card that has information on it, or a quote, or something that's significant to the shoe. It's going to be
Elevated.
gold
It
plated.
higher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it takes
for sure.
everything. So it's all about the customer experience. So even when I tell like people that want to start a business, my first thing is why do you want to do it, right? And I asked them,
Yeah.
what are you passionate about? So I'm gonna actually ask you, man, what are Don, the Juan, the Don Dada, what are
Yeah.
you passionate about, bro?
Yeah. So for me, sneakers for sure. That's one. Like just sneaker culture in general is really dope to me. It touches so many things.
For sure.
Art, and then I would say like community, just being able to or being in a position to give back, what I'm saying, to help, people who are coming behind me, after me, what I'm saying, kind of thing. And like, just people around me who need it. But I would say those are my passion points, man. But it's really just consistently finding those things and remembering that. I think you said something important when you was like, yo, like when starting a business, like why do you want to do it? Right.
Yeah.
So in addition to doing marketing for Footlocker, my apparel brand is called Wins brand. And then I also have a sneaker cleaning service called Clean Sneaker Care that I started with my partner, Clue 313. And we've been working together for years. We met at a sneaker boutique. We worked at a sneaker boutique together, and we just continued to work on different projects after we met because we just had like a good vibe. But every project that we do, whether it's creative direction for another brand, whether it's our next apparel drop, or whether it's our next move with our sneaker cleaning company, we do everything out of that passion, right? Just like,
Yeah.
yo, like this might be a good look, but are we forcing it? Do we really want to do it? Is this somebody we really want to work with? Is this a project we really want to work on? If we put this product out, is it something that we believe in?
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. So it's like everything, every step got to come back to that.
Man, like, yeah. I'm over here thinking like, bro, in everything, it goes to what internally makes you happy and that you want to see other people win. And you said community, and that's huge. And I don't think we really consider our community when we're talking about our businesses or just the aspect of helping others. So being from Gary, like I feel like we have a sour tooth or a sour perspective, right? Even in Detroit and Gary have parallel stories, by the way. So it's not like you you moved to Gary and moved up. I mean, and I'm not, I don't know your story directly.
I agree with you, bro. I agree with you.
Yeah, but like they share, similar stories. Now, Detroit, the downtown area is changing. Things are changing like that, but people are still going through it. Don't get me wrong. So when it comes down to community, in your eyes, what can you see is the biggest challenge for Black people, or not? Let me not limit this one, for people in general when it comes down to cities like Detroit, cities like Gary, and us wanting to be like entrepreneurs or be community activists. What do you feel are the challenges that we see or we experience?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that comes to mind, obviously, is like opportunity, right?
Right.
So I think that, unfortunately, like, the cities that we're in, they're not necessarily places that people are traditionally looking for creative talent or for entrepreneurship, but it's here. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. Those people are here and they've always been there, kind of thing, but they don't always get the same opportunities as artists or creative in New York might, or out in Cali might, kind of thing, right? Kind of thing. So I think opportunity, but also like we know that, right? We already know that going in, so when we talk about the community of entrepreneurs in our cities or creators in our city is, I think it's really those people who are on, or whether that's because they're really popular or whatever kind of thing, understanding what their role is in that community, right? So like everybody doesn't have to be like a protesting activist to make a change, right? Kind of thing. Like it could be you can do damage from behind your computer too, kind of thing. You can do something about supporting others. So I think that putting others on in a way that makes sense for you, kind of thing. So it's like, yo, if you in a position where it's like, hey, I need a photographer. I know somebody dope. Let me help them build their profile up. Pay that man. Make sure that they good. You know what I'm saying? Cite them for their work so other people can see it as it's growing, kind of thing. When it comes to teaching, right? Every solution, every problem doesn't need money to solve, right?
Yep.
So it's really just like showing. So it's like, like you having an apparel brand and understanding the process of getting garments printed on. It's like, that's dope. It's probably a bunch of kids who grew up probably similar to us, where like I would love to have my own clothing brand, but it's not in front of them, they don't see it,
True.
right? Kind of thing. So something as simple as showing them like the difference of what we just talked about, like, oh, screen printing is this, direct to garment printing is this, you know what I'm saying? Embroidery is this, you know. So like, oh, you want to start a brand? These are the things you got to do. Is teaching moments, right? You know, and I think a lot of us, when we do get a piece of that pie or we get on, we become kind of selfish with it, right? It's like, yo, like, if you know, if I got a clothing brand, if you got a clothing brand, you know what I'm saying, you taking off of my plate. But what really happens is we are starting to create a community that's going to branch out, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
It's like, you know, it's when you think about it, it's like, yo, like, oh man, look at all these emerging clothing brands coming out of this city. This is really dope. What's going on there? You know, kind of thing. It's going to bring more eyes to the city. It's going to bring more talent to the city, more resources to those people, you know. But it takes us within that community getting out of that mentality, right? Kind of thing where it's just like, bro, if you do something dope, I'm going to put you on. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. Like, not even because you're my man, but because you're good at it. You know what I'm saying? It's a plus if you fam. You know what I'm saying? It's a plus if you the homie. You know what I'm saying? But if it's like, yo, you do something quality and you willing to work and doing it with integrity, then it's like, why not support that person? You know, kind of thing. So,
absolutely.
You know, it's difficult though. You know, kind of thing. Because a lot of people, you know, if you go to any city, like you can go through Instagram or whatever, and you can see kind of like who the people are in their kind of cultures, right? So it's like, oh, this is the photographer guy, this is the artist guy, this is the, you know, big streetwear brand, whoever kind of thing, you know. But there's also other people who are creative like them who might not get that look, you know what I'm saying, because people are just going with what they know, you know. So it's like, you know, it takes some time to kind of branch out from that, you know. But I think that's one of the biggest struggles, man.
I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm not gonna say any names because I don't want to like bring any like true identity to the people or the business that I'm talking to, but I'm gonna say it because I think that what you just said kind of highlights that. So there's two businesses back in the city of Gary, and on one business I'll say like this: one business is more of community felt, and then the other one is more for profit, you know, in general. And one business reached out to him, was the other one, and said, hey, you know, we want to basically on the weekends you could come and use our space. Your business is doing successful, and we know that you have a certain entertainment piece. Why don't you come and open your business up in our restaurant, because we have a little bit more space and room and whatever, and you can do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Business two, so that was business one who reached out to business two. Business two declined the offer, and the reason why, or the reason being, is because business two didn't want competition. The business two felt that business one was creating competition. But if you think about it, if anything, you're more dynamic when you're together, right? If people see that you two are connecting, you two, business one and business two, is working together, then they're going to be like, okay, there's something there. And just like you said, if they see 5, 6, 10 brands coming out of one city that are doing really good, I mean, producing quality clothes and working together and getting people on board, everybody's just going to start paying attention, going, what are they doing? And honestly, bro, that was the goal of my company. Like, my company, we basically, within the Indianapolis area, brought brands together. So basically we did these high-end fashion shows. So we took basically people that would not get a modeling gig normally because of, you know what I'm saying, not our social standards, but the social standards that the model industry put out towards people. And even smaller brands that might not even get the opportunity. And we would bring out these people. And so, for example, our first fashion show, we brought out 300. Next one was 500. And the next one was like 300, but that was in a whole different city. So but we were bringing all these people together, right? And it was making so much noise and so much impact. COVID happened, obviously, because we were ready to get ready for this next one in May, but because COVID kicked off in March, that slowed everything down. But one thing I realized is somebody had reached out to me and said, "Are you guys thinking about doing it again?" And I was like, not, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna see. And they was like, well, you should really consider it, because it was really truly a benefit to the community. And when they said that, it hit me, it hit me right here, right? Because you don't think about, you just be working. You know what I'm saying? It's your goal.
Your head down.
You had your head down. You grinding. You don't care about none of that. But when they said that, it let me know that it is community. When you think of community, when you build with community, you build a
Hmm.
stronger brand. And that's the most, I think that's the most dopest thing, bro. When you're talking about,
Fact.
those combinations, right? With building a brand or being an entrepreneur, but it's community aspect. I love that, bro. I love that.
100, man. Yeah.
How,
Congrats on that too, man. I hope y'all can pick it back up.
bro, and honestly, man, if we can even, we're gonna pick it back up for sure. It's not even,
You got to.
it got to.
You got to run in that.
You
Yeah.
got to, man, because like it was the thought, it was the idea, was what we was able to do for people. But my next question is, how do you manage your brand? You know, and even before then, how did you build it? If you could give people advice on how to build a brand, we're talking about community, in a step-by-step process where people could get it. What would you say?
Yeah. So step by step, my suggestion would be one, what you said earlier, is finding something that you're passionate about, because it's like there's so many, it's a million different streams of income out here, and then the way that social media is, it's, everybody's telling you what you should be doing and how you should be doing it, but none of that is going to last or sustain if you don't care about it to maintain it.
Absolutely.
Right? You're more
Absolutely.
likely to continue to invest in something that you really care about. You're willing to learn about something that you really care about, kind of thing. And I think those are the things that, when you're starting a business that you're going to be working in and investing in, you need to start there. So that would be my first step. After that, I would say take your time and plan it out. I think because we get information so rapidly and we see other people doing stuff, we like, oh, I got to get this off the ground right now,
Yeah,
next week, in a month, kind of thing. You don't. You know what I'm saying? Like you are your only competition in that way, your only challenge for what you're doing, right?
that's true.
So take your time and plan it out. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to putting something out that's not quite right or not done all the way. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. It's like, you know what? When I was younger, that's kind of how I would move. I would have an idea and I'm just going. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? I'm just like, yep, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. But I learned a lot doing that. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Now I look at opportunities, I look at situations a little bit different. I sit back and I'm just like, okay, let me think through this. Let me process this. You know what I'm saying? So I can do it the best way. You know what I'm saying? So I
Absolutely.
can execute it the best way. So, like I said, taking your time and making sure that it's something that's beneficial for the brand that you're building. Do your due diligence, like, do your research on your industry. A lot of people think their ideas are like the first time
Yeah.
it's ever been done. Like, oh, bro, this is about to be amazing. Never been done. You know what I'm saying? But look, you know what I'm saying? Especially we get in our bubble, especially in our cities,
You
right?
better
So
say
it's
that.
like,
You better say
you,
that.
yeah, if you haven't seen it here, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. But look beyond what you see every day.
Yeah.
One, because you can get that inspiration. But two, you can just learn a lot. So you might see something similar. You know what I'm saying? You might see something completely different. You know what I'm saying? That still can inspire you. Kind of thing. So it's like, make sure you're getting out of that bubble. So like, when it comes to managing, my brands, that's how I approach every situation, every opportunity, every project, kind of
Sure.
thing. It's just like, all right, let's do this, make sure we do it the right way. And make sure that it's executed in a way that's something that I can be proud putting our name on, kind of thing. So, like I said, when you're starting out, man, it's really like, it can be exciting, it can be scary to people, kind of thing.
For sure.
And to be honest, it should be all of those things. You enter in uncharted territory most of the time with something that's new,
Yep.
change, kind of thing. But I think like making some of those uncomfortable decisions, but putting yourself out there, and and also being open to feedback. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen to what people are saying. That don't mean that they right. That don't mean that they wrong. But take that into consideration. One thing that I used to do when I was selling some of my shirts, like really early on, was I wouldn't tell people that I made them or
Okay.
designed them, right? Because I wanted to get genuine feedback from them. People are more likely to give you like a fluff answer if they
No, it's from
know
you.
that you,
Yep.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I would just genuinely ask people like, yo, what do you think of this shirt? Kind of thing. Or like, what do you think of the design on the t-shirt? Kind of thing. And people would tell me, like, some people be like, bro, it's dope.
Hmm.
Some people be like, it's too small. I don't like the color, blah, blah, blah. But now I have this feedback that I know is genuine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can take that back to what I'm doing later. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So it's like it's constantly learning, evolving, but I would say like, take those chances, bet on yourself, you know what I'm saying? Put it out there. If you got an idea or a brand that you want to start or what you want to do, like, try it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, think it through, do it the right way, but try it. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself out there. You know what I'm saying? Everything not gonna be a hit off top. You know what I'm
True.
saying? But it's a learning experience for you to do more later. You know,
True.
kind of thing. So I like I said, like early on, my shit was trash. My designs were terrible,
Mm-hmm.
right? But my creative eye evolved to the point where like I can do a small collection or something now, and it can sell out in a day, 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Kind of
Yeah.
thing where like I wasn't seeing numbers like that before.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. Like we released a collection of t-shirts about a couple weeks ago now, maybe like a month ago actually.
Okay.
And you know, within like the first week, you know, 2 products out of that batch sold out. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. You know, so it's like yo, like getting better at those things, understanding your customer, you know, kind of thing. But taking those chances, I could have been like, yo, my stuff whack, people not buying it when I was younger and I first tried, you know what I'm saying? But sticking with it if you really believe in it, but but you can't keep doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to learn from what you did before. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Why didn't it work? You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. What can I do better? So, you know, it's not an easy road, you know what I'm saying? But it can be fun, you know, and if it's something that you're really passionate about, then you just gotta like go for it, man.
Bingo. Yeah, building a brand is a lot of fun because there's a lot of ups and downs. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about like what you can do and your patience. And don't and that's a big thing, man. You can't be afraid of critiques. You know, critiques are gonna. I was reading a book and it was talking about how most people don't listen to their customers. No, like most people will just be like, okay, like I'll research, and I'll think this is what people want, and I'll put it out there, and then you'll get the feedback you want, and then you go, I'll try something else. But then your customers are speaking to you all the time. Either they're showing you exactly what they want to hear about. They're showing you exactly what they want to see.
They'll let you know.
They'll let you know, like what you
Yeah.
want to see, and if all you have to do is just focus on that, manage that, you know, and scale it, sell to them, and then retarget.
Yeah, and understanding like one, that everything's not for everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it might not be your product or your service. It might be that you're targeting to the wrong audience.
True.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
True.
Kind of thing. So you have to understanding your core consumer is very important. Like, who are you selling this to? It don't have to be for everybody. It might be for age ranges 18 to 25 who are interested in this. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. You know, so you have to understand that as well. You know, like one of our pieces that I was talking about that just sold out, for example, it was a graphic tee, right? Just a graphic shirt. It has some text on the back and like the chest logo. Pretty simple, right? I showed it to a friend, you know what I'm saying, before it came out. He was like, oh, it's too much stuff on the back. I don't like all the words on the back. It was like the quote, right? Kind of thing. And I was like, cool, good feedback, right? You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But that product also sold out, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. So it's like, that's not necessarily to say like, well, bro, I'm not listening to your opinion ever again.
Right.
It's just like, yo, he's not the type of consumer this is made for, right? But he gravitated toward a more minimal design that's like, oh, see, that's more clean, that's crispy, that's the one for me.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So we got something for both. You know what I'm saying? We got the minimal design, but we got the graphic print too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, I really rock with this shirt. That's your swag. That's your vibe. You know what I'm saying? But understanding that like everything not for everybody, and you know, having a brand, you it's fulfilling to create for yourself, right? But if it's still like something that you want people to buy or invest in or take their time out to like use, you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, you do have to listen to that consumer. You do have to listen to that feedback. Still make it unique. Still make it you. But you know, listen to that criticism sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's the best teacher. You know what I'm saying? For real in that way.
100%.
And it's honestly a blessing to get genuine feedback.
Absolutely.
Right? Because a lot of people might just not say nothing. You know?
That's true. When you were talking, it made me think about one word, and I want you to kind of go into this a little bit to define maybe even better for the audience, but a target market. Mind explaining that for us?
So your target market is your ideal customer, like that you have in mind when you're creating whatever it is that you do, whether it's a service, a product, whatever, right? So if it's like, for example, like streetwear, right? It's usually like the youth who are into it, right? Because streetwear fashion is heavily influenced by music, rap, art, you know what I'm saying? All of those things kind of have a really strong effect on streetwear, right? Kind of thing. So you're making like graphic tees and stuff like that. if you want to be like on trend to what's coming out, like, oh, yo, like I don't necessarily like the little, like, you seen the little vest that kids be wearing, like
Absolutely.
it looked like a fake bulletproof vest kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
that's a trend that came out, right? So it's like that's not necessarily my speed, but like if my target consumer was that kid, it's like, okay, I see what type of time they on, I see what they're gravitating to, I see what they're rocking right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I'm noticing like all the kids are wearing uh high end fashion brands, right? They're wearing like Balenciaga sneakers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? More
Uh-huh.
than I see them wearing Air Force One, right? So that don't necessarily mean I need to be competing with Balenciaga. It might just mean like, hey, if my audience is this person, you know, kind of thing, what is it about that that they like? Is it because it's a great texture, a good quality, it's heavier weight, you know, kind
Absolutely.
of thing? Like, what about this? Or is it just because it's hype, you know, kind of thing? But it's like, what about this product or this trend is exciting this customer,
Right.
right? And once you understand who your customer is, you can do true research on them,
On
right?
that
So
person, on
like,
that customer. Yeah.
yeah, you know, so it's like if you know, if you're making something like for women, you know, who are a certain age, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing, you need to look at what's trending in their world, you know what I'm saying, so you understand their needs for whatever your service is. So, you know, it's really just identifying, and it's not to say that there are people outside of your target audience who won't buy it, right? Because like I said, like most streetwear brands, their target audience is like teenagers, you know, to like early 20s. Like
Sure.
that means I'm aged out now, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying, kind of thing. But I still rock with it, you know what I'm saying, kind of
Hmm.
thing. So they might not be necessarily making stuff with me in mind, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. But I enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Because I connect to that consumer, even if I'm not necessarily in that age group anymore, you know, kind of thing. So it's really just identifying, like, yo, like obviously you want to sell, you want people to buy your product, but like it gives you a baseline of to come back to.
So when understanding like the brand concept, a lot of your understanding of building a brand seems like it came from, you know, starting your own company. But then or now you're the director, Foot Locker. I personally think that's huge.
Thank you, thank
I think
you.
that's dope. Just because like, you know what I'm saying, like as me, I'm a consumer. Like I've shopped there, I shop there. And so I want to know like how did that turn out? How did you become a director for Foot Locker? And for the audience, like what does that do for you? Like what rooms are you in now? Like what part of
Yeah,
design concept or what are your
yeah,
involvement
yeah.
in?
Thank you too, man, for sure. No, so my role is specific to what we call field marketing and community.
Okay.
So I recently got promoted to director. I was a marketing manager for the company. January will be 2 years that I've been with Foot Locker.
Hey, shout out to that
Um,
man. Shout out to your 2 years, bro. That's huge.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You know, so in the position that I have, I manage social media. I manage events that we do specific to like Detroit here in the city. We have what we call a community store on the east side of Detroit, and it's a space that was built specifically with the intent for us to have different events inside of it. So that would be something like a back to school event for kids in the neighborhood kind of thing to come get free book bags, school supplies.
Yeah.
It could be something like Imported from the D, which was a hip hop concert that we would have every month with like our radio station here. You
Okay.
know, kind of thing. It's a huge store, so we were able to do all these different things. And this is obviously before COVID too, right?
Yes.
You know, so before that, you know, I worked at different jobs. I had experience in retail. You know, we talked about some of just like my background as an entrepreneur. And a lot of that literally served as my experience. It served as like my learning curve. You know, like I said, like I didn't finish school. I didn't go to school for marketing, you know, kind of thing. So everything I learned was from doing, you know, and was by doing,
Sure.
you know, kind of thing. So, you know, right before I got with Foot Locker, I was, you know, same thing I was telling you, I was working different jobs and I was doing all these things with my own brand. And, you know, I got to the point where I didn't like going to work every day anymore, you know, kind of thing. I was like, yo, like my 9 to 5 is just paying the bills, you know, kind of thing, but I'm not being fulfilled. I'm not, you know, I don't have the opportunity to enjoy what I really want to do, you know. So I was applying for jobs like every day, every day, every day. just trying to get to the next thing. And I was like, yo, let me slow down and think about what I really want to do, as opposed to just what I can do, right? So I had retail experience, so I was always looking at retail jobs. I didn't think about applying everything I learned from my own brand and my business to something that could serve me in the corporate setting,
Sure.
kind of thing. So once I started to think like that, I switched up my cover letter, I switched up my resume, and I applied for less jobs for things that I really wanted to do. Some people that I kind of look at in the industry are like Yoon Ambush from like the brand Ambush. Like they just dropped a collab with Nike, right?
Yeah.
And Nike, that's really dope.
Yeah.
But she's also the director of jewelry for Dior,
Okay.
right? Kind of
Okay.
thing. So she has a very corporate positioning, but she still has her own brand too. And I think a lot of times we think about like, oh, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to quit your 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, that's cool if it allows you to do that. Some people's, side businesses or endeavors aren't always that lucrative for them to do that. And a lot of times the people who tell you like, oh, if you're really about it, just quit. They don't tell you like, oh, I worked in a corporate job for 20 years and I had a good 401k and savings, so I could take that risk, I could take that jump.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. Everybody's positioning is different, so I really like the idea of these entrepreneurs who still work within the industry, and finding an opportunity that can serve you really well. So
100%.
it's like, the position I'm in, I'm able to meet people, I'm able to connect with people that are still relevant to my business as well, so like I don't go in there like, hey, by the way, I also do this, kind of thing, but just building those genuine connections. It happens to be like they see you, they see the work that you do, kind of
Sure.
thing, so where you don't ever have to really say it.
Sure.
So as far as like the rooms and the things that's happening, like it's different. I would say like, I'm still one of the only black guys on certain calls, one of the young people on certain calls. So it's great to be in those situations because I just have more insight into like how things are moving at a level that I haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that our marketing department is really diverse. I'm proud to say it's a lot of like black and brown people, a lot of diversity in our department that kind of oversees what's being put out when you think about social media and everything. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
But what I really like about it is being in the position to manage other people who share like my passion, right? So like I said, I was a marketing manager for 2 years. Now being a director, I'll be replacing myself, and I'll be over marketing for Detroit, Chicago, and Texas.
Wow.
Pretty much like the Midwest as it's being kind of built out. We're putting more community stores in some of these other cities, not just Detroit anymore. But the work that I was able to do over the last 2 years really served as the blueprint of like, yo, we need to take this to other places. We're going to do this in other cities. So I have counterparts in like New York and LA who do amazing jobs out there too. But Detroit just had a lot of eyes on it, kind of thing. And the work that we did, we always put other people first.
Sure.
So when I talk about the community work that we did, it's like, cool, we definitely want people to come in a lot of New Jordans kind of thing. But it's like, we also are going to do a turkey drive and make sure that the families in our neighborhood who can't get out or don't got bread right now because everything that's going on with COVID are still getting groceries so they can have a good holiday. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So it's finding ways to connect to the people that, come into the stores every day. Because none of this happened without them. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. But still finding those moments to support the people, who are just into sneaker culture as well. So like in our community stores, we actually sell brands from the city, right?
Sure.
So you go to one of our community stores, you're going to see brands that are from designers that are from that city. It's not just going to be Nike and Jordan in that store. It's going to be brands from, somebody you might follow on Instagram kind of
That's
thing,
huge,
right?
bro.
And
that's huge.
Yeah, it's major. It's major. The program is called Homegrown.
Homegrown?
Yeah, so like we, and this, before COVID, we hosted a fashion show, but the idea was similar to what you were saying about the exposure. It was more like getting people who didn't necessarily have a lot of followers, but their brand was dope, an opportunity to get some more eyes on it, right? So like during the day, we had a trunk show, allowed those brands to come into the store and sell, and we didn't take any money from it, no proceeds from it. They was able to come in the store, sell to our customers that were in the store shopping that day.
Wow.
That evening, we transitioned it into a fashion show. So the brands who were there during the day selling their products were in the fashion show that night. to get more of a look, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of ways to connect, community and marketing and, some of these things that people think of as really like kind of salesman like, positioning. But it takes being creative and investing into the talent that's around you, kind of thing. So I think that's, in the role I'm in, it's like it's cool. We do work with, celebrities, rappers, DJs, so like basketball players and we get to work with a lot of talent.
Sure.
And, like that's cool and I'm, happy to be in those moments kind of thing, but they don't fuel me, in the same way. It's like, yo, like we gave out 500 boxes of groceries last month, and 250 turkeys on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Kind of thing. Like those moments of, people coming through. I mean, like, yo, like, thank you, bro. Like I didn't know what we were going to do this holiday season kind of,
Absolutely.
So it's really shifting the perspective of what a retailer can be, and what their expectation of a retailer is in their community, kind of thing. So it's dope, man. I'm blessed to be here.
That's dope, bro. As an entrepreneur, we don't talk about enough about having a 9 to 5 and being an entrepreneur. We make it seem all cool. People talk about it. You'll listen to Shark Tank. You'll listen to all these other like success stories, and you think, oh, just one dramatic day, certain people just quit their job, walked away from it, and decided to pursue their their business. And that's not a lot of times that's not true. Like you said, like they have been working very successful corporate jobs. They were building a pension. They could have like taken out their 401k, things that people like normally that are starting from literally ground zero do not have. And it's nothing wrong with. I think that entrepreneurs, especially when we don't have like, for example, the marketing dollars, the capital to have that 9 to 5, because at the end of the day, until you build your brand, your company up to the point where you can quit your job, it's not smart. It's not smart to like not have a job. Like people think, oh yeah, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna be full time. And one thing that for me is I'm in architecture, so I'm always in the field of design. I love design, right? So that's why fashion was was so relatable to me, because design is something that's so transferable in all aspects, right? And one thing that I realized is that, I would be a fool to not continue into architecture, because I say to myself that I want to be a full-time entrepreneur. So I am an entrepreneur, and I work every single day on my brands, companies, podcasts, etc. But at the same time, I'm also building my skill set with architecture, which is going to change even more lives. So at the end of the day, it's smart to have your job, have your 9 to 5. And if you're not happy, because I tell people this, look, if you're not happy, I get it. But you want income coming in because you want to pay your bills, right? You want to be able to get a good meal into your stomach. But you just got to turn on that extra hustle card. And that's one thing as entrepreneurs we want to talk about, is making sure, okay, you're working your 9 to 5, but you got to hustle extra harder when you want your business to take off. And that's something that we got to talk about more.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree completely, bro. Completely. And I think it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be. And I think like when you think about the goals of your brand and what you want to be, it's like obviously all of us would love to be like successful, right? You know what I'm saying? We would all love 100%. To do crazy numbers and, whatever, what I'm saying? All of us would like that. But if you really think about like your product and what you are selling, some people just enjoy it, right? Some people just enjoy it as a hobby. It don't have to be what takes over their life, kind of, and thinking about like, now if you do that thing 100% of the time, will you be happy doing it too? That's what I'm saying? Some people's entrepreneurship comes in the form of like an escape, kind of thing, like if you make music or something like that, right? But I think like what you said, like you want to have bread coming in, is I think of it as you have to plan your transition. Right.
Absolutely.
So it's like, yo, I'm going to continue to work and I'm going to do this part time. What does my time and my days look like? And it's like, you know what? I want to keep working until this takes off. Cool. What does that transition look like? What's your number that you need to get to? What's your savings got to be for you to comfortably make that? Right.
Absolutely.
And I think like we take, like you said, we talk about it in a way that's like, oh, you got to do this or you got to that. And it's like, no, you got to do what works best for your situation. Yep. So like for me, I like what I do with my job. You know what I'm saying? It's dope. You know what I'm saying? I just also like the freedom and creativity I get from being an entrepreneur. And the way that I see it is that my job is my small business loan. It's my investment.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. It's like
that's a good way of
without
thinking about
that,
it.
I can't fund the other stuff that I want to do. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, if, I have a lot of confidence in the products that we make. I got a lot of confidence in our sneaker cleaning company, and they do well. Kind of thing. But I'm able to put more money into them because I have the income.
Bingo.
So I can grow it and scale it, in a way that I'm comfortable with, right? So like
Bingo.
the lights is on, the bills is paid kind of thing, but I can still, you know, buy some more product. I can still buy some more supplies for this company. So, like I said, it's planning what your transition is and what works best for you, kind of thing. But like I said, I definitely understand if it's like you in a position where you just like, yo, I'm miserable every day. I hate my
Yeah.
job kind of thing, but I also think like it's a mindset shift too, into like, well, what do you want to do, right? Because it's not an overnight thing. It's not an overnight process. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you really about it, if you really like you said, you got to turn on your hustle card. Like what you really want to do, then it's like, okay, let me grind this out so that I can move on and focus more on that. Or then also like if there's something that you can be doing career wise that's adjacent to that entrepreneurship that you want to pursue. You
Bingo.
know what I'm saying? Kind of thing where it's like, yo, like if you want to get into music, it's like, yo, can you find a position in audio engineering or working in a music studio, working in a music store, something like that that can like get you more resources and access to what you really want to be. So it's really just planning like the transition that makes the most sense for you, but it doesn't have to be all or one, one or the other.
Absolutely. It doesn't. And I'm realizing in our day and age, as far as like at least black people, I know all other races, but I know for sure black people, we have a lot of catching up to
Yeah,
do when it comes down to economics. So quite right
yeah,
now, we are wearing a lot of hats, but I think that's okay because we're trying to get somewhere. We're trying to set the next generation up. We're trying to set ourselves up, but we're trying to set the next generation up as well. Just because
hmm,
we're really far behind. So when it comes down to it, it is okay to wear those multiple hats. It is okay to work your 9 to 5, take that hat
yep,
off, and then work that, and then take that hat off and work that because at the end of the day, okay, right now it's not where it's at. It's not booming, but with the level of consistency and you're growing, and something that you said that I really think and do all the time is I take my 9 to 5 and I invest it into my businesses. It's just a no brainer for me. I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm working a decent job or a good job. People will say architecture is a good job. It is. It's not. I'm saying it's not a bad career. It's an awesome career. It's an amazing career. I love my career. So, but at the same time, I love the aspect of building, so I can have that generational aspect. And then too, here's the bigger one. It's that community aspect, right? So a
hmm,
lot of times we think, okay, what are we building towards, right? So we're entrepreneurs, absolutely, but we have to solve problems within our community as well, and we have to basically balance that. So it goes back to those hats. We got to get comfortable with putting those hats on and wearing those hats as
fact,
entrepreneurs, as community
hmm,
community activists, which you are. And I love that. I love that you were speaking to that point that within your company, you found ways to better your community. And I think that we do so much complaining that we don't realize there's opportunities within the what I'm saying, the thresholds where we're at. We're trying to figure out, okay, like, this doesn't happen, or my community is suffering because of this, or my job sucks. So you ask yourself, what do you want to do? Well, I want to be a community activist, but I need money. Well, within your company, ask or figure out what can you do, or
yeah,
what programs can you be a part of to give back. Maybe
yep,
there's a food drive that you could attend every Thursday. Maybe there's a homeless shelter visit that you can attend. Things like that. Those are ways that people are able to push and pull in order to align everything that they want to do with 8 or 9 to 5. Like you said, finding your passion within that. It's like it's just really just flipping
yep.
the mindset.
Agree, man. Like agree completely. And like if you continue to make excuses for yourself just on the way of like, well, I can't because of this or can't. It's like we focus a lot on what we can't do.
True.
And like to your point, you got to think more about what you can do. Like, okay, well, if you aren't able to do that big idea right now, but what can you do right now? Kind of thing. Like you said, like what can you be a part of? What can you find to help get you there? You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So yeah, it's definitely a big mindset shift that needs to happen. Kind of
Absolutely.
thing. But I think that focus on what's possible, like it's just a much better mindset to have in anything, kind
Sure,
of thing. Because you can find an excuse to not do anything, right? Kind of
bro.
thing. But it's like if you sitting here
Anything.
and you like, you know what, I can't do exactly this, but let me figure something else out, kind of thing. You're not taking nothing off the table, then you'll find something, and
Hmm.
those opportunities can lead to more and bigger things.
Hmm. And that's big for our community, man. We need to be stressing that all the time. It's like, yeah, sometimes situations can be tough and rough, and yes, situations might not be panned out exactly how we had it, vision, or even maybe we were born into these communities or born into these
Yeah.
situations. But man, I'm telling you, it's so much information out there that we can change. Like, you could change your mindset. Like, you can go from like a lazy individual or a person who's just not super motivated to being a super motivated individual, because there's
Mhm.
information on how to do that. You just got to go find it.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
you could just type it in. If you just type it in, how not to be lazy, how to get motivated. These are the type of things, how to pursue my passion, career, things of that sort.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I really take my hat out to you, brother. Like, I love that you're out here doing that, man. That's huge.
Thank you for
That's
sure,
huge.
man. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, bro. Now let's get into some cool conversations about kind of like the cool things you're doing with Footlocker. You know what I'm saying? What are some of the cool projects you're working on right now?
Yeah, man, definitely. So, we have a few like new stores that are opening, which is like a blessing right now because a lot of retail isn't like doing so well, right now with a lot of like locations being shut down and different guidelines in different cities. Um, one of my favorite projects that we're kind of working on right now is I mentioned it a bit earlier, but it's called Homegrown. And that's a program where we carry local brands in some of our stores,
Sure.
and like some of our cities. So really looking for ways to expand that, So like I said, like last year when we did like our trunk show and fashion show for those brands, that was really us kind of just like dipping the toe,
Sure.
right, and figuring out the best way that kind of executed. And but now, with me transitioning to a new role as a director, I want to I want to find opportunities to do that on a larger scale, right?
Sure.
Kind of thing. So right now we have the homegrown project in Detroit, in Philly, in LA, and New York. Chicago is next, right? So
Hey.
right now we have some Chicago brands that are actually featured on our website,
Okay.
kind of thing, but trying to get them into stores as well.
Hey,
It's
how
a
can
lot
we
that
get
goes
in there?
into it, as you can imagine. Man, that's what I'm working on because we want to get I want it to be like an application process where like anybody
Can
who's
apply.
interested can, right? Because then like our buyers can look at it. Our marketplace merchants can look at it, and they can say like, oh, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. It's a strong brand. They got good quality. Let's get a line sheet from them. Let's see what they can do for the fall and like invest into it. But overall, it's dope to me just to invest into the local talent, what I'm saying, that are in these cities, what I'm saying, kind of thing. Like the numbers got to make sense, obviously, but it's
Yeah.
also like, like the opportunity is great,
Yeah.
So like that's like probably one of my biggest like passion projects there.
Bro, that's
It's
huge
like
though.
really building that out. Yeah.
That's huge, especially when you start doing it in other states, and other cities, especially these major cities. And I feel like it's just a great marketing campaign to bring more attention to what Foot Locker is already doing, like you mentioned. Because that was my biggest question, bro. Like, how in the world are these retail stores surviving during the
Yeah.
pandemic, man? Like, it's ugly, and I know, like, first of all, malls were already hurting,
Facts.
and
Yep.
because retail stores are mostly located in malls, what are they doing now? I mean, I know we have online options, but majority where you're gonna get your sales is probably in the store, right?
Yep. Facts. So like people are trying to find different ways to kind of pivot around that.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll ever be the same. Like you said, like malls and brick and mortar locations were already suffering, most places before that,
right. Yeah,
even before the pandemic, and it just kind of like took a lot of brands out. But just find a unique way to still engage with the consumer, right? So it's like, in places where we are still open, we have capacity limits, right? But it's like offering curbside pickup, kind of thing, like more focus on like your online business, what I'm saying, kind of thing like that as well. It's really what's keeping a lot of people afloat because it's like people still want to shop, kind of thing. People still want to get that product. They still want to get what they want, and just find a way to offer it to them in a way uh, that's safe, kind of thing. So, like I said, whether that is a curbside option, a pickup option, or it's like, yo, you just a bigger focus on your online business so people can order it and you have it sent straight to their door kind of thing. Well, it's like, yo, you still find a way to engage with them, So I think like even just like with my own brand, it's been everything that we've done has been mobile in that way anyway.
Sure.
So we've had pop-ups at other stores, right, kind of thing, but we don't have that overhead of being in our own location, so we weren't hit like that when this happened, unfortunately, like some of the other brands were, what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, we already had this online store, we already had this online model that worked out for us, kind of thing. With Clean, with our sneaker carrier business, we actually did just sign our first lease, for actual space.
That's huge.
So we'll have like so it won't be a retail space where you come into. It's more just like a base of operations for us.
So you can clean and store shoes and everything.
Yeah, so it's like we can do pickup orders, so you can drop off your kicks there. You can pick them up when they clean there, kind of thing. But it won't be somewhere for you to come inside. So it's really just like a warehouse kind of workspace for us to kind of just bang those orders out. And ideas for us to kind of just build that up more so that we can transition into that. A better retail space, a bigger retail space kind of later on.
Sure.
But it just makes sense right now to keep things at like a distance level at a, kind of thing like that. So, like I said, it's taking all of those things into consideration when how you moving, and being creative, what I'm saying? You got to be creative with it, but you can't just, give up right now. What I'm saying? You got to find ways to pivot.
True. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to do a shameless plug right now because I want to show you something, but I think that this was part of like our way to like maneuver during the pandemic because we was transitioning to this way already, but it was like, man, we really needed something to like during this transition time of like, getting people to the website because we don't have a brick and mortar, but we have website, we have social media. So getting people to the website is like the biggest thing, especially during the pandemic. But one second, let me show you something. So with your expertise, I want you to basically critique these. So this is one of our newest products that we actually just launched and we put out. And first product that we actually, like I said, shameless plug, but first product that we actually brought to the market as far as our company, pants. And because I told you the background is in architecture. My background is in architecture. My business partner background is architecture and fashion. We want to basically combine the two, and we created the first ever hybrid DAC pants. And so basically, like, tell me what you think, because it gets to this point where in fashion, you know what I'm saying, like, you got to try to figure out, are you competing, right? And you're a guy that understands that. So
is it what's at the cusp? Is it, can you tighten it at the cusp of it?
Here.
At like the ankle?
Yeah.
I see like a string from it.
Yeah, so this is actually it's a snap. Yep. So basically, so you're able to go from like more of a looser cut, and you're able to snap it and give you a more of like a taper feel to it. So
okay,
a little
and
bit
then
tighter.
Like, it's just kind of hard for me to see in the color of it. So is that like a dark blue denim?
So actually, it's actually a black.
It's black.
It's a black. It's a black. Yeah, it's a black denim with a what is it called? A waterproof type of wash where
too. Yeah.
Yep. And these
bro, those are hard. Yeah.
Respect, bro. Respect. And these are removable.
Like I like the pocket sets on there too. It's different, and like even like the
and they're removable as well.
That's crazy. And that's denim too? The pocket itself?
The pocket is also a denim. Yeah, it's a denim texture, denim feel. Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah, but even just like the pleats at the knee, you be in like a different material. It's like that's crazy too. Yeah. I think that's dope. And I think the adjustable fit at the ankle is unique as well. Cause like for me, I dress like that, right? So it's like for me, it's like, yo, if I want to go tapered, you know what I'm saying, having that option, because it kind of depends on what shoes you're wearing, right? So it makes them versatile in that way too. So bro, that's fire.
Sure, yeah.
What's
bro.
the name of the brand?
It's called Too Easy E. And basically, like, we basically put the logo here. This is actually part of our rebranding. So it was all connected. So the crazy thing is the pandemic hit, and during our fashion show, we was gonna release this whole new like branded concept, and
Yeah.
people like we was gonna bring out 3,000 people. It's the best way to showcase your stuff. You got 3,000 people from the city coming out, market. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the pandemic happened, and you know what I'm saying that they got under their way, but. Yeah, bro. Like these were so. I just want to get your advice, like your opinion on them or your critiques from a brand strategist, a marketing guy, in the area who does this. You know what I'm saying, day to day.
No, like I said, I think they fire, and I like that the versatility of them. I would want to see them on, right,
Sure.
to see like what the fit is like, kind of thing. But just like looking at the quality of it, it looks really dope to me.
Honestly,
Like,
bro, I might send you a pair and I ask you to do a review for me, man.
Oh yeah, just let me know what's up.
Yeah.
Well, can I see the back real quick though?
Absolutely.
It seemed like it looked like it was something on the back end on the waist line, I think.
Yep.
Okay, it's another logo hit back there. Okay, is that a belt loop too? Like it will go underneath there?
It's a belt loop as well.
Got you.
Yeah,
okay, no, that's fire. Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is just a simpler way of for our logo. But yeah, bro. Like I said, I'm gonna definitely have to send you a pair. You do a review for me, man, and you know what I'm saying, style them how you like it, and let me know what you think, bro. I would love to get your opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's something that when it comes down to well, the world we're in, it's like the biggest thing for the world that we're in is creating a brand that like people can like really truly connect with, because it's easy just because like for example, like it's easy just put out like apparel, right? But if it don't have like a true meaning, there's no quality put into it, then did you just waste your time?
Yeah, facts. And it's something where it's like that's what we were talking about, like passion and like taking your time with something too. It's like it's easy to just like slap your logo on something, kind of thing, and put it out there. But like you said, like creating an actual brand and a brand identity, it's important because that's what people are going to buy into in like the long run. Kind of thing. It's like, like I rock with this brand because they're consistent. I rock with this brand because they create quality product. I rock with it because it's versatile. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. Like those are things that are part of your identity as a brand that people are going to remember the next time they shopping, kind of thing, or the next time you drop something, the next time you release something,
For sure.
Yeah, man, definitely.
When is your next event, bro?
So right now, the rest of the month, everything is pretty much just not necessarily private events, but they're not like public facing events. So we have like this weekend, we'll have a like a holiday drive. We have like a toy drive going on in like our store right now. And one of our like community partners is like a youth shelter for like, kids. They have like a list of all the kids, all their shoe sizes and stuff like that. So we're literally bringing them into the store for like a shopping experience so they can like buy their own shoes, buy their own pair of boots, whatever they want, kind of thing. One is it's cool to do because a lot of them are teenagers without nowhere to go, kind of thing.
Yep.
They still got their own taste level. They don't want somebody else picking shoes for them and bringing it in. So that's where they can get some type of normalcy, kind of thing. Like they know what they like, what I'm saying? So they can come in and be like, oh, those fire, these dope, what I'm saying? Kind of thing. They can get what they really want. Cause like we could have just like sent them some kicks and they're like, oh, we sent them some shoes or whatever. But I was like, yo, like, these kids is ranging like 10 to like 18. I'm like, like let's bring them in, what I'm saying? Let them shop, let them pick out what they want.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So like we doing that, and then so like the rest of the month for us is really just kind of like it's holiday season, so it's like we finding ways to, and also with it being COVID, it's just finding ways to kind of give back to the people who just like it's even harder for them this year, kind of thing. So
Sure.
It's a few more moments like that this month, but that's pretty much like the biggest one on my mind right now.
Sure.
Like on my radar. We're bringing them in the store before these are open, so it'll be like a private shopping experience for them. You know what I'm saying? It'll only be those kids there. But I think it'll be really impactful.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. Yeah, man. What I was getting at is if you know of any event that you feel like I could be a part of or help out or anything like that, man, just let me know. On my team, like I'll love to help you out in all the endeavors that you're doing, because I think they're dope. I think that, you know what I'm saying, we need to, you know what I'm saying, continue to spread that type of love. But and two, I loved it. I haven't physically been in Detroit, but I have a mentor who has done a lot of like work out there. He always telling me, man, you need to go, because I study a lot about Detroit, because like I said, the parallels are so close to Gary, and
Yeah.
Detroit is coming back. So there, and what I think it was just a lot of secret investors buying up property, buying up land, buying up buildings, and I want
That's
to go.
exactly what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to basically go study that model. But before, you know, because this has been a really dynamic podcast, man, I look for a part two. But before we end up, you know what I'm saying, going, what are some things you could say if there was, you know what I'm saying, you know, you were talking to the group, the young group of people, to inspire and motivate them, either from, you know what I'm saying, Gary, Detroit, both impoverished, you know what I'm saying, minority cities. What would you say to them to say, hey man, like, you know, there's better to come, or you keep your head up? Like, what is your level of influence or motivation for them?
Yeah. So for me, it's like, yo, it's okay to be different and it's okay to try. Like try it. If it don't work out, try something else, but don't just be stagnant. I think it is hard when you come up and you only seeing one thing, or you're not getting necessarily like exposure to other things, but if it's something that you gravitate to or you passionate about, like go for it, try it, ask a lot of questions, kind of thing. And, be careful with, who you are, looking up to, kind of thing. Again, knowing that it's tough being in certain neighborhoods and certain cities, but with the internet, with social media now, it's like we have access to a much bigger world if you're looking,
Yeah, 100.
kind of thing. And you don't have to be um, like the environment that you see every day, what I'm saying, kind of thing. So for me, it would say like, yo, like just try, what I'm saying, and keep your head up on that end. But knowing that it's gonna be tough, knowing that it's not easy, like you said, like, as Black people, we have a lot of catching up to do.
Sure do.
And, when I talk to other Black entrepreneurs, sometimes I'm kind of not hard on them, but just like direct. Because for me, like we talked about earlier, so many excuses in the sense that like, oh, like a lot of us don't have generational wealth or these opportunities, you know what I'm saying? But for me, it's like not saying that we should address these things or work toward making them better, but for me, it's like starting a race knowing you already behind, right?
Yeah.
It's like you got to run faster to catch up, so it's like if you really want to win this race, you got to go harder, right? Kind of thing. You starting behind, you got a lot of space to kind of account for, so it's like address that, understand that, what I'm saying? But in the meantime, we still have to work harder to get beyond that, so that would be my biggest pieces, man.
Man, I love that, man. And that's my thing that I don't think we stress enough. We have to work. It's not,
Yeah.
I don't even, like, there's no debate, man. There's no middle line to it. We have to work. We got to cut out with this mindset of, oh, like they worked before us, or we worked in slavery, or we tired of working. Nah, it's time out for that. We have to work. If we want to change, we just got to do it, man. And we're hardworking people already from the jump. So literally all we got to do is just tap into that and go harder. But what you was about to say, brother?
No, I'm saying that's facts. And like, it's not to ignore any of that, but it's like, we know that already.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. So it's like, address that, understand that, you know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. But you also have to lean into like, well, now that I know that, how do I work beyond it? You know what I'm saying? How do I get past it? You know what I'm saying? So if you in school and you taking classes and you like the only Black kid in class or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in all of those situations too.
Absolutely.
I get it, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But it's also like, okay, cool, I am, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing, and it's like I said, like, it might be hard sometimes. It's like, it's not gonna always be easy, but you know what I'm saying, like, you got to keep moving forward, you know what I'm saying, you got to keep going, because if you just end up sitting and letting these things consume you, then you're not gonna move forward at all.
That's true. And you'll look back 10, 20, 30 years and be like, man, where did time go? And I let so many opportunities pass me. But right now it's the best time for opportunities. Like, even people that are 50, 60, 70 years old, even opportunity right now is still good because as you continue to prolong, you could continue to get like, oh well, it's just too late, and it's never too late for opportunity. This is something that I will stand by. It's never too late, bro. I will be literally 50 something years old, and I will still be taking, you know what I'm saying, achieving opportunity, jumping on opportunity when it strikes. It's just because like now is the best time, man. It is right now. It's the best time because we're all in the same mind frame, and I think that you know what I'm saying, for both of our cities, we're moving it forward progressively. But I would definitely want to give you your flowers, man. Big shout out to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Continue, brother. Continue, man. Keep your foot on the gas. I love, like, I wanna continue to tap in. Like I said, if anything you need on my side, if I need anything, I want to be able to reach out to you. And before we get out of here, where can the people tap in with you, follow you? If they have any questions, if they want to, ask any more or for advice, where can people follow you, brother?